Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to 40 Something Fit Dad. I'm your host, Aaron Ross, and welcome to episode number 9. Nearly into double figures, man. I can't believe it. This episode is another interview, and it's with a friend of mine. His name is Glenn Snashall. I've known Glenn from Crossfit Dandenong. We train together. Well, he actually trained in the mornings. I train in the afternoons, but our paths crossed, so to speak. We ended up doing a marathon team row together. We trained together. We got common interest with the Joe Rogan experience. We saw Theo Von, which is one of my favourite comedians, when he was in Melbourne last year. And he's an all-round nice guy. Our new dad, he's a CFA volunteer. He is a very talented videographer. And we get into that. We get into, a few things that's been going on with his family life. And it was a great chat, a great catch up. And I hope you enjoy the episode. Don't forget to subscribe, review, and enjoy.
In two sort of senses, I guess you could say. Yeah, I mean, you heard about the tree and everything over the house.
What happened there?
You know that storm that came through nearly 2 months ago now, the big storm?
Yeah.
A big 35-metre tree took out our house.
Jesus.
So, yeah, we're living temporary accommodation at the moment.
Wow.
Out in Wandon. So, yeah, our house is done for, sort of thing. So it'll be sort of like probably 12 months or so. Rebuilding it.
Where were you? Where were you guys?
We were in the house, man. Yeah, man.
Yes.
It was insane, absolutely insane. So, do you remember that storm that came through? Like, it was massive.
Yeah.
Lisa and I were just we were out that afternoon, and like we were just down the park going for a walk in the golf course out the back, and we're going, such a nice day. I've been working outside and everything, and then I've just gone, there's a bit of a front coming across. I looked at the phone. I'm going, holy shit, it's a big front. We shot back to pick up the little guy, and I was feeding him dinner, just as normal. It was like 10 to 6, and I'm sitting there feeding him, looking out the windows, and the trees are just going crazy, and there's like shrapnel hitting the windows and everything from the trees.
Yep.
And Lisa just goes, this is not good.
Yeah.
And next thing we know, the tree took out the side of the house pretty much, and landed over the house, and the power went off, and so like it was so bad though that we couldn't even get out of the house. Like, it had crushed the house so much that the door frames were crushed, so we couldn't even open up the door to get out.
Jesus Christ. No, man, I didn't realize. I haven't spoken to you for so long, for a while now, so wow.
Yeah. And I haven't I guess I haven't really not necessarily not publicized it, but I haven't really sort of gone on about it on, I'm not one of those sort of people to put that stuff on Facebook, Instagram, all that sort of stuff. You just sort of get on with it and you just go, oh, fuck, it's a shit thing to happen. But so
lucky.
What's that, man?
Really lucky.
Oh, extremely lucky in the sense that none of us were hurt. That's the biggest thing. But then, like, the day after, right? So I'm there dealing with insurance. We had to get a tree lopper in to obviously remove the tree. They had to get a 35-ton crane up our driveway to lift the tree off the house. That's how big it was.
Oh, man, that's nuts.
But after that morning, we met with the insurance. He goes, "I'll get an arborist to come out this afternoon." We drive to the house to meet the arborist, and there was one tree left standing next to this tree that had uprooted, and that was overhanging my carport. And we'd been in there all morning pulling like wood out of the carport and stuff like that, because like there was no power in Emerald, so we're like, fuck, we're staying at mother-in-law's house, just need wood to keep the fire going and everything. And this fucking tree came down as the arborist was walking up the hill to meet us. in front of our eyes. And like we were just about to get because I'm in the CFA up in Emerald, and
Yep.
you know, they're all helping out. They're like, oh, anytime you need, just let us know, and we'll come and help you get your stuff out of the house. So I would organise like 20 of the guys and girls to come and help get like our essentials out of the house. We all would have been walking under that carport, man.
Jeez.
And that tree's just fallen and taken out the fucking carport right in front of our eyes. And we're just going, no, it's just...
That is insane.
It's absolutely insane, man. So as you can tell, like I'm just like, we've got, I think there's about 6 or so big trees left on the property that could hit our house. Yep. So we're not moving back there until all those trees are gone. So like anything that I can do, I'm chopping out myself.
Yep.
And then I've got to get an arborist to get the big stuff down. But yeah,
Jesus.
So
wow.
Yeah, it's pretty full on, man. Like just dealing with that mentally has been pretty full on. And it even just like, I'm not one that ever sort of really gets anxious about anything.
Yeah,
man, since this has happened, like just any for probably a good week or two afterwards, like even just a car door slamming would make me jump.
Wow.
It's just any wind and it's been pretty windy the last couple of months even, like think like a little drop of a honky nut on a roof, I'm like, whoa, what's that?
For sure. No,
Lisa and I are just like, so
wow, understandable too, man. That's your anxiety just in normal everyday life is pretty high with the way things are going, but to top it off with that, but Jesus. Wow, you must be one of the luckiest guys. 2 days.
We went and bought some lotto tickets straight up, and didn't win, but got money back. But
yeah, sweet. Nah, awesome. So the house, how's that? Is getting fixed, or how's that coming along?
Not great. We're fully insured. The insurance is good in that sense. Like we thought we were overinsured. We live up in Emerald, so it's big fire zone. If you think about if a house needs to be rebuilt in a fire, that's demolish everything. So you have to have a lot of money to do that. So we thought we were overinsured, but we might not be now. And you're looking at like bell ratings change and engineering has to change because you're in a fire zone area, and then they want you to build the house to like specs of now, which is maybe another 150,000 on top of what you thought you needed. So
that doesn't cover. That's not covered within insurance with your insurance, or
well, it's a X amount. So if you're insured for 500,000, that's what you've got to spend pretty much. So. But you can easily see how, and our house is not completely destroyed. It's structurally not right. Like the stumps are buggered underneath, and there's glass everywhere. It's whole new roof. And because it's just an old weatherboard house, like built in the 80s, it's just it wouldn't stand up to the fire code now.
Jesus.
So,
out, man.
So it's a bit shit.
Stress levels are high.
Yeah, big time. And it's mainly like insurance is good. Like we're going through it all, but we've had a pretty bad assessor, like the person working for the insurance company. It's just been really slack. So we've gone 2 months now, and we're still no better than what we were before. So we've kind of escalated it through to Allianz, who's the insurance company, and things are starting to move as of last week, but it's more like Lisa and I having to manage that rather than you'd think like if something like this happens, you would hope that the insurance company is there to be on your side to help you out. It's not the case at all. It's Glenn and Lisa versus the insurance company.
That's what really shits me about these insurance companies. Like, they're pretty on top. If you miss a payment or you're late for a payment, they're pretty on. They pretty much tell you, let you know, well, you're not covered until this happens, and then something happens, and it's like trying to fucking get bloody blood out of a stone. It's ridiculous. It's like we've had problems like with car insurance, like with accidents and things like that. It's nuts. It's something's wrong. Something's wrong in that sense, and it's your home as well, man. It's
It's your home, not just your house. It's your home, and that's the biggest thing between it. It is just four walls, but it's your home, man. It's it's where your life is, and
exactly right. It's your four walls, mate. You know, that's the thing. Wow.
Yeah.
So you've been pretty busy, man. But
like when you talk about like COVID, it's I guess you could say it's kind of good that that COVID has happened now. Like if this had have happened, or maybe word it the other way, it's good that the tree's fallen now with COVID happening. 12 months ago, I was booked out 3 weeks in advance with work.
Yep.
So I just couldn't imagine anybody having to manage a tree falling on the house and having to deal with insurance and builders and assessors and engineers and everything. You'd have to take days off of work to deal with it, So
that's the thing. You think with the amount of insurance that you pay over your lifetime, and then something does happen, they should be taking all that shit off your hands and just going, okay, this is your point of call, whatever his name is. He'll be taking. You just go to him. He'll be taking care of it. But
it's almost like, and it's kind of opened up my eyes to maybe there is people out there that do this, but be like on your side, like what do you call it? Like so it's someone that works for you pretty much, and then let's just say it's 20 grand out of your insured sum. They get they charge the insurance company 20 grand, and hey, I'll look after you, Aaron. I'm in your court. We'll sort it out for you. Because you can just imagine, like someone like myself that's understands construction, understands how it all works. I can see what's wrong with what we're doing and what we need to make happen. And Lisa and I have both run businesses before. We can manage that. But can you imagine, like my mum? Imagine my mum was that house. She'd just be like, and hasn't got kids or whatever, or some old lady just goes, "Oh, my house has been destroyed by a tree. Insurance is just going to sort it out," and then they don't, and then they fuck you over. Can you imagine that? Like, it's just, there must be so many people that just get fucked over by it because they don't know.
Shit, yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's there's something really wrong with that industry. It's, they are, like I said about over-insuring, like the premiums that you're paying for is ridiculous. Like per month, you have it's a big chunk out of your pay packet.
Yeah, big time.
Well, sounds like you've.
Got to have it, don't we?
That's exactly right. It's a double-edged sword. You sort of, if you don't have it, then you're out for however much, and then No, well, that's so. Whereabouts are you staying now? You just staying? Are they looking after you with accommodation and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, so we've got 12 months capped accommodation. So anything over 12 months, we're pretty much screwed. That's why it's like, come on, guys, you've already taken 2 months. We've only got 10 months left to rebuild a house.
Yeah,
get your shit together. But yeah, we're in Wandon, which is about 20 minutes out from Emerald. So yeah, get this, it's an Airbnb house on a strawberry farm, and so they've got I think it's something like 80 acres or something of strawberries. So every second day we've got fresh strawberries being delivered to our front door, and yeah, you might have seen on my Instagram stories the sauna and the spa and everything as well. So so we've it's the silver lining, it's a nice big house, rolling hills, great views, spa and sauna, and sort of living it up, I guess you can say. But
and fresh strawberries delivered.
Fresh strawberries.
So now we're talking about COVID. Everyone's talking about COVID. Now with your company, your business, let's go into that. I actually had a look on your Instagram, your company's Instagram page. Tell me about that work there, man. That's some creative shit. Now I see on your stories as well, like before pre-COVID, you were doing a lot of traveling and everything like that, doing promo videos and things like that. Tell me about Capture. Do you call it Capture or Capture Video Content Co? What's your official?
Capture Video Content Co. Videography business. Just making content for small to medium businesses. It's really sort of taking, I guess you'd say, taking advantage of the whole social media side of things, Facebook, Instagram marketing, for companies to actually market themselves on those platforms. So that's our sort of our core business. But as a videographer, I guess it's also we do a lot of work for Sea Life. Well, we did before they were shut down as well, or pre-COVID. But that was all for their like TVC and stuff like that. So they'd ring me up every month or every second month or whatever, and go, okay, we're doing what was one of the last one we did, like World Penguin Day, for instance, and just to get all those really nice shots of the penguins and everything, and that would go on the project, or it would go on Channel 7, or it would go on. They'd get it through something to get momentum. Like their secondary business is what's all with Merlin Entertainment, which is Legoland, for instance. So we started shooting at Legoland.
I saw that. Now, I just got to cut that shot where it was sort of above and sort of in the round sort of thing. Like, I don't know if I've got to show it to you. I don't know how you did it, but
which one's that?
It was at Legoland or something like that, and you're setting up, and there was a camera above you, and it was like in a freaking, it was like you were in a goldfish
360.
bowl.
Yeah.
What's the deal with that? How did that work? I'm just curious.
So that's just showing a bit of behind the scenes of setting up an interview. So that was in Legoland. You're right, and it was an interview with their head. What do they call him? Like a brick man or something, I think he is, or brick engineer or something, I think they're called. Lego nerd. So pretty much that is a 360 camera that we have that just sits on a standalone pole. So it gets rid of the pole underneath it, and then you can reframe from there. So that's basically, if you think about 280 mil lenses either side. So it's recording 180 mil left and right, but then it's back and front, and that stitches together. So then I can then reframe and zoom in to different sections. So that's why you saw the whole room of me being able to zoom in, zoom out, and go to different areas in that clip. So it's quite interesting what you can do with 360, and and then that moves on to virtual reality and stuff as well. And another thing we offer is being able to walk through spaces. So
like for real estate and all that.
Real estate, yeah. We recently had a client just before COVID, or as COVID started. It was for mental health, and obviously again because of COVID, there's a lot of people going to be dealing with mental health. There was a new office that needed to be opened up to take in the amount of people that they were going to be dealing with. And it was more corporates. It was more so like corporate mental health. And the directors were stuck down in Tasmania, so they couldn't get to Melbourne to make a decision on the place they were going to rent. And subsequently they're going to be spending a lot of money fitting the place out. So they want to know. They got in contact and said, "Look, can you take some photos? We want to get some video of this place to understand it a bit more." I'm like, "Look, we can do a VR tour." And so we take, I think it was something like, it was a 500 square meter factory space in Collingwood. For instance, we take like 200 different photos of it with the 360 camera, stitch it all together, and then they can just walk through and check it out as they want. So
that's cool.
Same camera, man. It's so there's a lot of different things you can do with it. Yeah.
So videography, is that your, like, how long has your company been going for? Is that sort of just started off as a sort of a passion thing or a little hobby and sort of grown from there?
Yeah, so my background is actually I'm a sign installer, a sign writer. We had I've been a sign writer since I was 16 or so. Ran our business for about 10 years. We were doing some big projects, and I sort of saw the need to document those big signage projects a bit better than just taking photos. Playing with GoPros and stuff early days. You're talking like the GoPro 1 and GoPro 2 when they were first came out. Time lapsing our projects, and then that created advertising material for our signage business. And then I just went, you know what? I love this so much. I'm going to start doing it. So, yeah, we got rid of the business, moved into a few other bits and pieces, and then started the videography company. So the videography company's been going for about 3-4 years now.
Wow.
So,
is it just yourself, or you got a partner, or?
Just myself, yeah.
Wow.
And then we subcontract out if we need any, second shooters or audio guys or anything like that. But most of the stuff I run myself. So yeah, it's all a one-man band, I guess you could say. Yeah.
Now, go back to when you decided, okay, this is for me. How was the jump from going from, your full-time steady income sort of job to I love this. I'm following my passion. I'm taking the leap. How were you? How was your mindset back then?
Look, it was. It's probably not as. I guess I was probably a bit more used to that sort of decision. It wasn't as much of a. You hear about these people going on working a 9 to 5, and then they might push into all right, I'll do 9 to 5 job as an accountant, and then they want to be a videographer, let's say, and then they're working from 6 till midnight on videography, and then they're working, pretty crazy hours, and then they make that shift. For me, because I've always been a signwriter and run businesses, and then run my own business, it was kind of like I was already doing that anyway for myself. But to take that back a notch, like working for somebody and then having enough work. Like this is, let's just say this is like 15 years ago or so. I was working full time as a signwriter, and then I had enough work after hours, which is exactly what I was saying then. You do that 9 to 5, and then you do that after hours work as well. I built that up so much that I couldn't do both. Then I had to make that decision. And that decision back then was going, okay, well, I've got to get a printer, I've got to get a factory, and that factory is, I mean, back then it was only $1,000 a month, which was nothing compared to the factories that we had sort of at the end of our signage sort of business side of things. We were spending $5-6 grand a month for rent of a factory. But back then, $1,000 a month, man, like $12,000 for the year. That's a lot of money to make that jump to go. This is a decision I've got to make, and I've got to make it work. Yeah. But yeah, you just got to make those leaps. You've got to give it a go. And if you don't give it a go, you won't know what may have been or what's you've got to fail sometimes. And if you don't want to fail, you can't fail. Then you'll make sure you get it right. And I guess it's the same situation now, where we run a signage business with 6 staff, and it was a big business. And we're going, okay, we want to make a change. We want to do other things. Let's do this. So, and that was the videography side of things. So, jumping into something different, something I really enjoy. So
awesome. That's good. Sounds good. That's really good. And no, looking back, there's no other sort of project, little hobbies on, you might be a strawberry farmer by the end of this.
One of my clients said to me the other day about that. He said, I could see you out there picking the strawberries. I'm 6'3". I won't be picking those strawberries, man.
That's awesome, man. That's really good. Now with COVID, how's it affected your business, business-wise? How you traveling?
Yeah, look, it's we've got a couple of the bulk of our work is definitely gone. We've got a couple of customers that are in the sort of industrial manufacturing sort of side of things. So we've managed to work in with them under their permits to still do a bit of film work. So it's not really allowed, it's not permitted as such, but we kind of found a few little loop workarounds sort of thing. Still, managing to be safe and everything as well, and wearing your mask and doing your contact tracing, all that sort of stuff, and it's all been perfectly fine. But I think at the end of the day, man, like Victoria, us here in Melbourne, Daniel Andrews has really fucked us up in that sense. I feel like you just got to do what you got to do. Like I'm always in contact with a lot of other videographers as well, and chatting on Instagram and that, and just a lot of other guys and girls, they're just like, I'm not allowed to work. What are you doing? And I'm not, those jobs that I've had over the last couple of months, I'm not out there advertising it. I wouldn't turn around and say, look, you wouldn't want to put it on Instagram saying that you're doing these jobs, because you get frowned upon because of COVID and everything. But at the end of the day, man, if you got to bring in the money, you got to
do what you got to do. Exactly right.
Just be safe doing it. And but it's definitely dropped off, man, big time. And I don't know how long it'll take. Obviously last night we got those restrictions changed a little bit in a few spots. We're allowed to film again outdoors, so that's all permitted. But the problem is events aren't happening. That was a big thing for us. Any sort of events, we'll be covering those for social media. Those things aren't happening. So how long will it be until they come back on again?
Yeah, that's it. Now, how bold businesses are going to be, like, especially, with their spending on videography and advertising and all that sort of stuff, But, I mean, like...
It could go either way, though.
Yeah, exactly. It could be exactly right. I guess we just gotta wait, I guess. But, you're sort of, like, pivoting, like, with your walkthrough with your in your industrial warehouse sort of thing. I guess you just have to, just think outside the box. To if it doesn't work out, you definitely get creative on it.
You've got to get creative with what you've got, And I mean, look, I still sign write as well, so I do get a lot of calls for sign writing, sign installing. So I've got that on the side as well. So when things aren't happening with video, I can always be installing signs and looking for signage to be done.
Nice one.
So, but yeah, it could definitely go either way with. We definitely saw with that first lockdown, between the first and second lockdown, the first lockdown slowed people down a bit in spending, and they were a little bit cautious, and then it came back for like 2 weeks or whatever, and we saw a bit of movement, and it's like this second lockdown, it's just shut everyone down. They're just like, oh, we don't know when we're going to be spending, put things on hold.
Which is understandable. I think everyone's sort of up in the air about. I'm in construction. We're still working, but I think our bubble's going to burst soon. I mean, I don't think there'll be many people buying houses. Who knows? So I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see and ride off this year, and hopefully it all picks up in 21.
Well, looking in April, it was more like, oh, this will be gone in 3-4 months.
Yeah. We'll
the year, man.
We were joking about it, we're telling jokes and coughing in each other's face and all that sort of shit. Now it's fucking frowned upon.
Yeah.
Now I met you at CrossFit Dandenong.
You did.
So fitness wise, how have you? What have you been doing lately? Because I haven't done CrossFit for probably over a year now. But I've just recently just started to pick it up. Now you got me tied up in this burpee bounce back.
How's it going? You enjoying
brutal. I gave Sunday. I had a rest day on Sunday. That's how bad it was. So
that's all right.
But it's really good. We should actually really talk about that. How did you come about the? It's through Origin. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, I'm not even too sure. Yeah, I'm not too sure who the parent company is of it. I frequent Instagram stories a fair bit and get hit with all the advertising. I guess it's a sponsored posts and that. And I was flicking through stories on I think it was Sunday night, having a few beers, and this burpee bounce back challenge popped up, and I went, oh, all right, well, can't be that bad. Let's have a look. And sent it off to a few people, and got a few responses going, oh yeah, I'll give that a go. And when you see one person do it, so a girl from CFA, I sent it to her, and she's into her fitness and everything. I said, oh, hey Amy, you want to give this a go? And she goes, I'll do it if you do it. And I went, all right, yeah, I'll be in for that. And then sent it out to a few other people, and next thing you're into it. But I enjoy those sort of challenges. I think it's good. It's for a really good cause. But fitness wise, man, I haven't since I was probably 3-4 months before my son was born. So I couldn't sustain traveling down to Dandenong to go to CrossFit. I love it, man. Absolutely loved it. Really miss it. For so many reasons, for the mental health side of things, just to be active, so much stronger. Just my body was less pains and everything as well when I was doing CrossFit. But yeah, I was going probably four times a week.
Yep.
Yep. I think I was doing the morning sessions. You were doing the afternoon or something, weren't you?
Yeah, afternoon. We sort of cross paths sometimes, and it was good.
Yeah, on a Saturday.
I think, I think we did that. We did a rowing challenge.
That's it.
That was.
How many Ks was that?
Was it a half or was it a full? It was full.
It was a.
No.
Yeah, full marathon. Half marathon.
Yeah, something like that. I can't remember.
Well, what's a half marathon's 20
something.
22 point something.
Yeah.
It must have been a full marathon then, maybe.
Must have been. Yeah. It wasn't too bad. It was good though.
It was 4 of us, yeah?
Yeah.
It was 4 of us. So it must have been a full marathon, because you think about it, it was a couple of hours in the on the rower.
It was.
Yeah.
Imagine trying to do that now. I'd be fucked.
Well, yeah, it's funny you say that, because I really enjoy the rowing. Being quite tall, it lends itself to me.
Long levers,
so
mate.
that's it. Yeah. So I've always said I want to get hold of a rower, which is So I just couldn't sustain traveling to CrossFit four times a week. It wasn't the cost of things; it was more just the time that it was costing me to actually do it every day. So I started setting up a little home gym at home, and obviously I want to get a rower and all that sort of stuff. It'd be awesome. But at the moment, I've just got some weights and a plyo box and bits and pieces like that. But it's been a long time since I've gotten into it properly, which is pretty pathetic, really. But with everything happening, with COVID and everything,
sure.
and you it's too easy to put it off. It's easier to go to CrossFit and go there. You're seeing everyone else. You're doing it. You've done your hour of CrossFit, and then you're on to your day. It's just so much easier to do that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it does set up your day, especially we're doing it in the mornings. Set your day up. You're sort of going into and plus the community as well. That's something that I sort of miss. Is the community feel of it, and but I think after this 17 days of 90 burpees a day, I think that might kickstart something for me. I was actually like waking up sore and everything, so I was like, because I saw the demonstration one, and they don't do the full push up; they just go to the plate. And I'm like,
oh no, should we get started on that or what? That's just like. I can't stand that shit, man.
Yeah, I couldn't. I showed Tali. I showed my wife, and she's like, "What?" Yeah. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
Well, wasn't there something that got pulled up at the CrossFit Games a few years ago of burpees, and like the style of burpees that is or isn't allowed, and there was that whole thing with not touching the ground and then not standing up straight at the top end of it as well.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Something like that. There was something. Yeah. So I think if you bring your one foot forward and sort of stand instead of jumping up, it was just, I don't know. I know there was some burpee controversy.
That's right. Yeah, and when you look on, and it was brought up when we started looking at this burpee challenge, and a couple of mates were going, "Oh, what's the standard?" I'm going, "Man, I'm going to the ground and then standing all the way up. Like you've got to do it all the way." But then if you start YouTubing the amount of different types of burpees there are, it's like, not touching the ground or just throwing your legs back and then not standing all the way up. You're going to do it, you got to do it properly. You got to get full. But at the same time, I do get that it's good to have the different variations for people that may not have that fitness to be able to do the full style, and they can still get active with it, and they're going to hopefully transition into something that's a bit better of a burpee, I guess you could say.
Yeah, that's it. No, as long as they're doing it. I mean, that's the main thing. As long as they're doing it, it's a hell of a lot of burpees anyway, regardless of. Oh
God, yeah. What numbers are you up to?
I think I've got 1,100 something to go. So I'm only doing the 90.
Yep.
I'm 4 days in, 5 days in. So yeah.
Today's the 5th day, maybe? Or
Fifth day, yeah.
6th day?
I took Sunday off.
Sunday. Yeah.
So I've got to
make
catch
it
them
up.
up. Yeah. I know. That's the thing. It was a stupid idea.
I started with the 90s, and then I went, I'll try and do 100, and then one of my friends was doing like a 150 or a 160, and I was like, oh, you're making me feel bad. I kind of need to do a few bigger numbers. So I pushed past 110. I'm like, oh, that's enough.
Yeah, exactly right. Now, with your CFA, how long have you been a CFA volunteer?
5, 6 years now.
Okay, cool. And it's always been with the same station, or how does that work?
Brigade, yeah. So Emerald, yeah. So I moved up to Emerald with Lisa, my partner, about 8 years ago, and just driving past.
On,
like I drive past it.
You're sort of cutting out a lot, and your picture's pretty blurry. Can you see me properly?
Should we try? And I can see you fine. I can hear you fine.
Yep. You're blurring right out.
Hold on, man. Better?
No. Do you want to?
Can you hear me at all?
Oh, it's sort of a bit scratchy.
Do you want to disconnect and retry?
Yeah, cool. We'll do that. Just hit that link when you're ready.
Yeah. So CFA. So been in CFA for 5 or 6 years now as a volunteer firefighter, and we moved up to Emerald like 8 years ago, and for a few years I was driving past the station like 2 or 3 times a day, and you're just going, I want to help out. Like I don't necessarily want to get involved full on, because it's a pretty demanding sort of thing, and it can be pretty full on what you see and what you do. And not knowing that back then, I still knew that I probably didn't want to get involved in putting out a fire as such. I don't want to put myself in much danger. But just always driving past and going, man, I've got to help out. I've got to be part of the community. You just really want to help out like that. Yeah. And just got involved with them, messaged them, and they said, yeah, come down. We're looking for recruits, and went through recruits training for I think it was like 6 months worth of training, and dedicated to that. And now I'm a driver down there now. So it's enjoyable, man. It's really good. There's been some I wouldn't say dangerous stuff, but some things that really make you think about, fire and what it's like up there in the hills and that. It really makes you think, I guess you could say. But yeah, again, it's about the community, man. Like you're saying about CrossFit, it's about having the community there and all your mates up there, and it's a really good thing.
Awesome. No, it's definitely required, especially in areas like Emerald. That's I've got a few CFA guys that I work with, and is it necessary to carry that pager around?
Well, I probably should say yes, and I do always carry it, because I know our captain is quite dedicated to that. I hope he doesn't listen or see this podcast, but no, man. Look, we don't. We're luckily enough. I don't know how many brigades have it, but we've got a system called BART, and that basically goes to our phone. So the pager goes off and it goes straight to your phone. So you get the notification on your phone, and then the good thing about that is then who's coming to the station. Whereas with the pager, it goes off, and I might sit there and go, "No, I can't go. I'm having dinner, or I'm doing something else, or I'm at work." Yep. You don't know who's coming. Whereas with BART, you just go on your phone, you say thumbs up or thumbs down. So you know who's coming to the station. You know if you've got a driver. You know if you've got a structural go inside a structure if it needs to be that way. It's so I don't personally carry my pager on me all the time, and I think I know what you're sort of laughing about. Those guys have just got it on their hips, on their side, and
That's it. I thought it was in a time machine. I thought it was back in the 90s where they love it. They're always sort of checking the hip. Oh, okay. I mean, if they're passionate about it, I'm all for it. But yeah, I don't know how effective you got. I don't know. I just had to ask the question, man.
Well, I guess look, if I was at work, like I started out with the pager, and I've still got the pager. I think the battery's flat now, and it's in the bottom of the car somewhere. It's more of a pain in the ass though, because like if I had to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to CrossFit, I'm not going out to a fire call or a false alarm at 2 o'clock in the morning, because that's what I've got to sleep. So you don't want that pager going off no matter what. So I can just put my phone on silent, and that's. I'm not available. I'm not available for any fire calls. But the idea of a pager, and it's still very much necessary, is that if you're in if there's a big fire going in the fire season, telecommunications might go out, or it's flooded and your phone doesn't work, as in like the network's flooded. We don't get those pages through on your phone. Therefore, the pager becomes very necessary.
Okay.
So it's definitely still got its uses.
I'm not bagging it. I'm sure that if there was a fire going, take the pager. But
take the pager. Yeah.
If it goes off and you're not going to go anywhere, then just leave it at home.
Exactly. Yeah, if you're at work, there's no need to be having your pager on. You just leave it in the car. If you're out on the construction site for 8 hours, you're not running away to the pager goes off. Yeah.
Had to ask a question, man. But good on you, man. Especially for small communities, like Emerald. That community feel about that's what it's all about, I guess. And when things go down, you want to do your bit. You don't just want to be driving. You're all volunteers as well, aren't you? Is a volunteer?
Yeah.
It's amazing, man. And fire season in Australia is hectic as it is. So more hands on deck is amazing. It's good.
It's definitely required. Yeah, that's right. And it's just about the possibilities and what it opens your mind to as well in volunteering, especially in the CFA is amazing. It's really good.
Yeah. And for instance, like what happened with your house, and had
people ready to go, because at the end of the day, you're helping them out, you're helping the community out, and you've got people at your side straight away. Glenn, what can we do to help you? You're always helping us out. So that's what it's all about. Yeah.
You nearly killed him with that second tree, but
yeah.
Nah, but the thing is, you give back. You do the same in a heartbeat if that happened to someone else. So that's right. I get it. Yeah. That's awesome. Now being a dad, how's that going for you?
Oh, it's amazing, mate. Absolutely amazing. Yeah. So the little guy Rowan, he's 18, 19 months old now. So. It's really, really good. He's just starting to walk now. So he's been crawling and a little bit of walking. Now he's just flat out walking everywhere. It's great. Once
they're walking, mate, that's the end.
Can't stop him. That's it. What are you into now, mate? Where are you off to? Yeah.
Oh, perfect. And the country lifestyle is, how's that suiting him? He must be loving it.
Yeah, well, like living in Emerald, it's still in the country, but the farm that we're on now with strawberries, and we've got chooks out the front, and they've got little lambs and everything, so he's able to see all that and run around a lot more. So he loves that. He loves seeing all those sort of things, and I think that's great for kids as well to see how it all works and see what's going on.
And Emerald's not that far from Melbourne, really. It's
45 minutes an hour. It's not that fun. Yeah.
And how are you enjoying it? How have you taken on the role
of being a dad?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't give it up for the world. It's amazing. Yeah, absolutely amazing. Just seeing him grow, like just even over the last couple of months, it's like, where's that little baby gone? He's
turning into his own little person.
Yes,
and
exactly.
personality.
Yeah.
Is he any plans for any more, or we?
Yeah, look, we'd love to have another one. Yeah, it's definitely on the cards. So yeah, it'd be great. I think it's great to have two or three kids. It's good. Just so I mean, look, we only want two, but yeah, more than one pretty much would be awesome. But yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Nice one. Now I saw you. We met up. We saw Theo Von. Would have been 2 years ago.
We did. Was that 2 years ago?
I think so. It wasn't or was it last year? Maybe early last year. Maybe it was last year.
Oh, it's nearly
No,
2 years, man. Like this last year, it's gone. It's a year's gone. Yeah.
Yeah. So how's
The Rat King.
Yeah. Have you been listening to his podcast? Have you been?
I listened to the King and the Sting.
Okay.
That's always a good one to listen to with Brendan Schwab. So yeah, I enjoy that one. I don't listen to his other one. This
past weekend.
Weekend. Yeah, I started listening to it at the very start, but yeah, it just didn't quite gel with me. And I've got a lot of other podcasts that I listen to, so it's sort of gone by the wayside, I guess you could say. If he has an interesting guest on, I might give it a listen. But yeah, definitely. I can't wait until he jumps back on the Joe Rogan experience. He's always funny with that.
I've been waiting for him to get back on Rogan, and I thought he would. I thought he'd be one of the. He hasn't.
With the new change and everything, with going over to Spotify.
Yeah, just I thought he'd be one of the first, but yeah, he's. I've watched.
I think that might also be a fact that Joe also knows that he's blown up every time that he's been on the podcast, like. You know, and maybe he's like, I don't need to do that anymore. And is that maybe a thought from Theo Von? Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe. I think he gets really nervous with being on with Rogan. I think he's I don't know. There's something, but he's the same with Bobby Lee. Have you heard of Bobby Lee?
No.
This Asian comedian. Like, he's hilarious, but he's just, I don't know. He's just intimidated by Rogan, I think. So
I've seen clips of him before actually on YouTube, but yeah, I don't follow his stuff. But yeah.
So what other podcasts do you get apart from this fantastic 40-something Fit Dad podcast?
40-something Fit Dad, yeah, it's on heavy rotation, yeah, every week. Try and get into that one. A lot of design ones as well. Videography guys. There's a few that I follow over in America. Basically just talking about the industry that I'm in, just getting knowledge, just listening to anybody. I think podcasts are such a big thing for me when I'm if I'm not doing my videography, I'm installing signs, and sometimes I might be wrapping a car, and that's 8 hours for me just by myself working on a car. I can just put the headphones in and just listen to a podcast. So I try and consume as much as I can of that. But I find that podcasts are amazing in the sense that where they go with different guests. You might have some guest on, and I'm like, oh, he sounded really interesting. And then you look him up through Instagram or Facebook or whatever. You're like, oh, I see what that person's doing. They might have a podcast. Then you get onto their podcast, or you follow someone that they've been on another podcast. And then next thing you know, you're listening to someone else's podcast, and you go, how did I get here? You know? There's a few fitness ones that I listen to. And it's been crazy links where a fitness podcast has had a videographer on. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So I listen to his, and then next thing I'm listening to her fitness podcast, and they've got someone else that's interesting on. So it's a good platform, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I reckon it's a game changer. Like, I used to be because I work in an excavator. I just used to listen to SEN, the sports channel. Day in, day out, from morning through to the afternoon, just footy centric. And I haven't listened to them probably in about 3 years. There's so much more, and that I can't stand ads and music. They're playing music they're forcing us to listen to music that we don't want to listen to. Like it's like you can listen to music to any song that you want to listen to, and ad free, and then you can listen to podcasts for real people speaking of things that you're interested in. It's going to be huge, and with the Rogan Spotify deal, it's just I think it's going to blow up even further, and I think it's good. I think everyone's got a voice, and everyone's got a niche little community that they're part of, and why not? And it's cool. I've enjoyed it so far. Did you start one of your own? Did you?
No. I've always, and for this exact reason that I consume so much, so I kind of I feel like I want to put back into it.
Yeah.
And sort of hence the reason why I've sort of yelled out to you a few times, going, "Oh, this is great, man! This is awesome!" Seeing someone that produce a podcast and get off their ass like what you're doing, I think it's great. Just then I haven't done it myself. I've always thought about it, like, what would I do? Who would I talk to? I need to think of something different. Just never really gotten into it. But I'd love to. I'd love to do something like that. I was thinking about it before our house was taken out by the massive tree. I rebuilt my studio up the back, and that's what I was working out of. And I thought, this is perfect to try and set up a little podcast studio up here.
Yeah.
So it kind of was on the cards, and maybe once we get the house rebuilt in 12 months' time, maybe we're back on the cards again, have a bit more time to dedicate to it. But yeah, I think I'm like you, man. Like I used to listen to Triple J. I still listen to Triple J if I have to listen to the radio. But if I put my headphones in, I'd put a couple of good albums on and just listen to albums all the way through. And I reckon it's been a good couple of years since I've listened to an album, while I've been working on the headphones. It's just put a podcast on. So especially when you're driving as well, like you're in transit for an hour a day or so. If you're driving to the city, whack a podcast on and consume a bit of information,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I get a lot. I base mine around Rogan. I listen to Rogan. I think he's just really good to listen to. And, like you were saying, you sort of deep dive into these people that he's interviewing. Yeah. And you didn't even know these people existed. And they really open up to him. He's and then you sort of, I've listened to the one on sleep. Have you listened to the podcast on sleep?
Oh, with Joe Rogan?
Yeah, on Rogan, yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was though.
I had. I'll send you the link, but it was just amazing. I ended up reading his book, and it's amazing. It's great. I really enjoy a good podcast, but I listen to a lot of comedians. That's Tom Segura. Tom Segura.
Oh, yeah. I listen to Tom Segura. Yep.
Yeah, Tom Segura and Burr have got a podcast as well.
I tried listening to that once, and it just didn't. They had that other guest on. They've got one guest on, and it's those two talking, and it's just a bit too much. And I think Rogan sort of talks about that a few times in his podcast, where if it's one-on-one, it's good.
Yep.
But
anything more than that,
two, it's a bit much. Yeah.
Also, Bill Burr. That's.
I enjoy his. I love his Netflix shows. Bill Burr's his comedy shows or whatever, his specials. But I love the way his podcast is just him rambling on on a Friday and a Monday or something like that.
Yeah, that's it. It's just the Monday morning podcast. You're just sitting there talking. It's gold.
He is classic. Yeah, I love his stuff.
Probably one of my favorite comedians. He's definitely up there.
I just love the way how angry he gets with things and just goes on rants.
And it's the smallest things. It's hilarious.
Yeah, that's right. But you can go, oh yeah, I can see why he's getting shitty at that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And then he sort of corrects himself. He's like, "Shut up, Bill." And
That's good. Yeah.
Good stuff, man. Well, that's it, man. I've covered everything that I wanted to cover. I think you've given me some great stuff, man. I'm really enjoying your work, just with encouraging me as well. Like you're reaching out, and you know, we don't know each other like that well. We only knew each other from CrossFit and from that night at Theo Von. Yeah, but you've really
and that full marathon on the roll, mate. Look at that.
We'll have that bond, but yeah, it's something that you know, I'm trying to cut down on social media, but I think, you know, for things like connecting with actual people and keeping in contact with it, I think it's you know,
it's so powerful in that sense. Yeah, definitely. And that's why I've sort of been reaching out to you and going, yeah, this is great, man. Like get your podcast going and just give me a few little tips or, you know, little advice along the way. I'm sure it sort of helped, but I just like seeing you succeed with it. And, you know, it's anybody that's given it a go, I'm happy to help out with, you know, and it's, it's always good.
Really appreciate it, Glenn. And it's really good to really talk to you on this sort of level as well.
Man.
That's what, like, I've spoken to my wife's cousin last week, and just like I've known him for so long, but I haven't really known him. Like I had that, you know, it's just really good to get to know people on that on a different sort of level, which I think
podcast is doing.
Yeah, and I think that's what's sort of lacking. I mean, I think, especially with me, I feel like you know, there's a surface, like there's as much as I want people to see me as, but you know, with this, I'm sort of opening up and getting to know people on a different level, and hopefully that's, you know, you should be taking that into my life, you know, with everybody, or with who I want to, you know, open up to, is not just on this.
But at the same time, like you don't really ever have time to just, you know, you meet someone in the street or you see them down at CrossFit. You don't really have, you know, what have we been talking for an hour or so here? And it's like, when do you have time to just sit and just chew the shit for an hour? It doesn't happen anymore, does it?
No, it doesn't. And I think a platform like this, I mean, this is what I wanted. My vision for it was to, you know, speak to different dads. Those who are in my community first, and just get to know them. You know, everyone's got, you know, a story to tell, and I think people like to be heard as well. That's what I'm sort of, you know, everyone's got a story. People like to be heard, and you know, and you get something out. I'll get something out of it. So I'm sort of doing it to, you know, for me to open up and to be able to get to know people that are in my sort of circle, and then you know, going from there. And then, you know, I'm looking to interview The Rock. That's my
You'll get there, man. You'll get there. You'll have to get that internet connection a bit better, though. But by then, though, you'll be doing it in person, man. We won't need to do it on Zoom.
That's what I want to do as well. I want to set up a little studio and just have, you know, get a couple of more mics and do it in person. You know, that's my goal. And then you know, have a drink and talk the shit and see where it goes.
Yeah, but it's also interesting for people to listen to as well, to listen to different people that they would never usually talk to.
Yeah, that's it. I think it's connecting people in so many different ways, which is awesome.
Definitely.
Anyway, Glenn, I'm going to press stop and record, and we can talk a little bit after that. And it's been awesome, mate. I can't wait. I really can't wait to catch up with you. Can't wait to catch up.
Definitely.
Good luck with the house.
Thank you.
Hopefully that, I mean, you're a good person. So good things always happen to good people, man. And it'll all work out. But
that's it. We just got to keep telling ourselves. So
yeah, that's it. Keep up the good attitude with that, and with your work as well. I mean, you're doing some amazing work there, man. And I'm sure it'll all pick up. And I look forward to seeing your work, man.
Thanks, man. Cheers. Thanks for having me on.
No worries, man. I'll catch up soon, mate.
Thank you. See ya.